generational cycles repeat itself in different forms.
I think the why you didn't say anything to anyone, for me, and I can't speak for other survivors or victims. I wasn't taught. I was never taught. I didn't know, even though there was some awareness, but I wasn't taught. And so to let somebody touch you and not say anything was normal for me. Where I'm coming from. So I'm not saying that what you're gonna teach your children is gonna completely guard them and protect them and shield them. But I'm saying that if you start to share your experiences, share your stories with your children, then you find that the impact, should something happen, is gonna be completely different. Because the thing about trauma that people don't understand, it's not so much of the thing that happening. It's the fact that you go through it alone with no one to help you process it. That is what it really is. Do you know what? I'm going to call somebody's name. This is a celebrity in Jamaica. And the reason why I'm going to call his name is from my experience. I don't know about anyone else. But I remember when I met this celebrity. Yeah. It was through another friend, meeting somebody who he knows or connected to. And we went out, like, I think there was a stage show or something. And we went. And I remember meeting this gentleman. And at the time, I believe he was married. And I think he still is. I believe the same woman as well. And so I remember being in his presence. You would have think that he would be this kind of person who wants to exploit young girls, but he didn't. No, out of all the people I came across growing up in Jamaica, he was one of the only man I've ever met who didn't show any signs of exploiting me. Because the thing about shame, what a lot of people don't understand, shame really isn't for you. Shame and guilt is for the people who done what they done. They are the one who should be ashamed.
Phenomenon. Colding.
We know what we're talking about. And so I oftentimes wanted to make sure that she's in good company, you know. And so now that she's older and she can step out with whatever she's wearing, and we will have discussion, you know, wear things cover up, you know, wear longer stuff. And you know what she would say she would say, "Mommy, listen to me. I have worn clothes covered up down to my knee, to my ankle. And some big uncle still popping their heads off while they're driving, even slowing down their cars." She said, "Mom, you see our look. You can see for yourself." And for real, the girl look good. You know, she looks good. So if somebody don't know, they will try. But I'm so pleased with her because the cycle's broken.
The cycle's broken. It's funny you said that, because when my daughter she's not 12 yet, when she got to 6, when she got to 5, I said the cycle's broken.
It is.
And as they go on, I said, God, I keep breaking these cycles, and I'm happy because the cycle is broken.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
The cycle is broken.
You can tell. You can literally tell. You can tell. And it's funny because I was told not long ago that my mom said she prayed for my daughter that she don't become like me. And I'm thinking, no, you didn't do nothing. I put the work in, but now you want to come take the
take the credit for it.
Exactly. But I did it. I did the work. I taught my child. I bring her up without your support. Even though you were supposed to be there. You didn't engage. And when you did, you always try to find fault and
Mhm.
try to bring us down. So you've broken that cycle and you should be proud of yourself because you broken the cycle by teaching your children, teaching the young man. Now he's investing in his sister and he's going to continue to live with that, and he's going to be able to treat the females properly and his peers properly, and he's going to know how to walk, how to step without getting himself entangled in any kind of trouble. So we should be proud of ourselves.
Yep.
We should be, and we should walk with our heads held high. That
Real
and it,
high.
yeah, and it's so profound because just to say this, when I received those messages cussing me out, I didn't want to respond and I didn't respond. But my daughter took it upon herself to respond.
So sorry, she contacted you after that interview.
Yes. And so because she didn't get me to cuss me, she left the voice messages on my phone. She was WhatsApp the voice notes. And so my daughter listened to everyone, but she didn't know that she listened to every one of it. And while she was listening to it, she heard everything. And so she said she's going to respond to this. Enough of this. And my daughter responded to it. And when there was one part that she said in it that is so profound, my daughter said she's going to university, which is this last year. She's going to university and she's thriving and she's progressive, and the reason why is because of that same whore of a daughter you claim to have. My daughter said my mother raised me well even though she didn't get the proper upbringing. And when I saw that, I'm telling you, my heart, my daughter even said that the generational curse is broken. My daughter said it's broken for both of you. My daughter said it's broken for both you and my mom. But I don't think she heard that because that's not what she wanted to hear.
That's not what she wanted to hear.
She
And
wanted to hear, yeah, look pa you, look
mhm,
there, you know, see,
yeah,
look, talk to your daughter, talk to your
yep,
granddaughter, because she had this and she had that.
yeah, because they
Not
wanted to
hearing that.
rejoice over you. And you said something. You raised a strong girl, a powerful girl that has a mouth that is never gonna quiver for anybody.
No, but
A-
not even me. She
Not
would say,
even
Mom,
you.
Mom,
And I
Mom,
think
Mom, hold on, Mom. Mom, let me land. You know, they
right
have the English um
term.
tone. Yes.
Yeah.
Mom, let me land. I'm like, hold on, now let me do. Mom, let me land. Let me say what I'm saying, Mom. And I'm like, okay, go ahead.
And listen, she broke a generational curse to your daughter that she doesn't even realize.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you said that your daughter said this to her grandmother, my kids, I always said I was never going to tell them who my mother was. I was going to let them see for themselves. And when they see for themselves, not even the fact that they don't even want to be around her, they don't care for a relationship with her. One day, my mom, for some reason, Jamaicans think they could say things to people and it's funny, it's comical, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting there. My mom looked at my daughter and said, "You look sketel you." And my son looked at her and goes, "What does that mean? And why are you calling her that?" And he went on the internet, he Googled the word. And he said, "Why would you call her that?" And my daughter, in the most sweetest and cutest and most respectful way, she put her in her place and let her know, "Don't you ever call me that. Don't you ever call me that."
You know what? What you're saying is so deep. Do you know one of the reasons why I did that interview? Let me tell you one of the reasons why I decide that, you know what? No, this needs to end. My mother she called me in the late February and said she coming into the UK in the March. Okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to see her. Yeah?
Mhm.
She came, she did not confirm that she was here. I heard from the grapevine that she's here because I've got a cousin who works closely with the children's father. So that was how I know. So he told him that my mother is here. That's how I know.
Mhm.
You see? Cool.
Yep.
So anyway, one day she called me, but she still didn't she don't know that I know that she's here, but she didn't confirm. So I didn't ask. I left it at that. So one day I got a message on WhatsApp, and on that message I see that she have a profile picture of my daughter, of her TikTok profile. My daughter was wearing a two-piece swimsuit and a shorts on it, but the shorts she opened the front because she have a navel piercing. So obviously she's a mature girl, so she wanna show
Show
herself.
it.
That's her
Mhm.
choice. Because over here, I believe the adults when they're 18, but I know that they can work because they get the national insurance when they are 16, so they can
Okay.
work. Yeah. So she started working when she was 15 or 14, something like that. So she one of them early bloomers. So
Mhm.
anyway, after that, after I received that, I opened it and I looked down at the bottom, and the statement was, "Who is this girl?" So what she don't understand that I'm very intuitive. So she don't know that I'm able to read through that and know what she's saying,
Yep.
because she want to come now. She want to bring that she tried to antagonize me for years, and now she know that the door is closed. She can't come through it no more. So the next person she need to use to get to me is my
It's your
one
daughter.
girl.
Mhm.
And so when she send that, it's either two things. It's either I'm gonna call her and start blast my daughter. Yeah, look on what she have on internet, blah blah blah. It's either I'm gonna do that with her, or I'm gonna automatically go and curse my child.
Right.
So when I saw that, I called my brother. I said, "Listen, you see what your mom's up to?" He said to me I should ignore. She's looking for attention. And so I said to him, I said, "No." I said, "Listen to me. This is it. This is the all the things she's done over the years. I accepted it. But this one, my one girl child, it's not gonna work. It's not. This is where it stopped. This is where I am gonna stand up and say enough is enough. It's not gonna work. No, she done it to me, and she want to continue this cycle. And so now she want to go for my baby. No, you mess with the wrong child, woman.
Mhm.
No." And that was when I said no. Then if whatever wanna come, let it come. I will
Yep.
go down now. I
You
will
will.
deal with it. So what if she wanna dig hole and put me in and use dolly with needle? Let her do it now. Because
Yep.
I'm done. I'm literally done. I'm not gonna keep up with this foolishness no more.
Yep.
Because you come to the country. Before you come and see your grandchildren, you want to bring some,
Some
so
some type of dramas.
exactly. So
Yep.
going back to breaking that cycle, we need to stop this thing. Like
Yep.
we need to stop pretend that we don't see the thing. It is
Mhm.
right there. You see it, deal with it.
Yes. And
Deal
we're
with it.
gonna
So
and that's the thing. We have to deal with it, all angles of it, not just one. Because you'll deal with one and then there's this one festering around, infecting
thank you.
everything else. So we have to deal with all of it.
Thank you.
All of it. You're not gonna okay, you can't attack me anymore because you know that, listen, I already cut the cord.
Thank
Now
you.
you want to come and infest my children?
My
No.
baby.
No.
My one girl child. No,
And that's
woman.
another thing we have to stop doing is saying, oh, well, it's family. And, I want the kids to know their grandparents. You cannot say that and allow the grandparents to infect your own children. You have to
No
cut that
contact.
cord too if it's not healthy.
Listen, no, right now is, and I'm strongly standing on this. I went no contact after that.
Mhm.
No contact. When she cussed me out, I never said a word to her. Never. It's over a year and almost. It's coming up to a year. I never said anything. And I have not said anything. And all the curse she cursed and all the assumption and accusation, I did not respond. I let her know that that is one of the most powerful way I'm going to communicate with her, because all the years I've really came to you for you to stand up and to say, you know what? Yes, A, B, C, and D. But what can we do to resolve this? How can we resolve this? How can we solve this? How can we change this? How can we break this? But no, you are showing me that you love the arms house.
Yep.
I mean, I like arms house.
Yep.
So it needs to stop. Recently, my daughter told me that because of the hurricanes, she reached out to her. And I said, baby girl, I'm proud of you. Well done.
Yep.
That's your nan. It's
Yep.
you and her business. The reason why I don't have no worries, you are grown. And
Yep.
I know you. I know where you stand. You don't need her to survive. So she can't intimidate you and manipulate you in any way.
And
You
you
see what
raised
I
her to
mean?
be able to make right decisions for herself.
Thank you.
Yep. So you
So I
don't
say
even
I'm
have to worry
proud.
about it.
That's it. I said I'm
Yep.
proud of you. I said that's your
Exactly.
nan. It's
Mhm.
your choice. You can build a relationship or you don't want to build a relationship. If you still want to go to Jamaica, we can still go to Jamaica. You
And then it
understand?
and
If
it doesn't feel forced or like she's in the middle because you gave her that choice. And I
totally,
want to say we have to give our children choices as well, but also give them the tools to protect themselves. I'm giving you the choice. If you want to learn about that relationship and build on it, that's fine. But here are the red flags, and here are the tools how to navigate through it. Because, in the Jamaican culture too, what we need to stop doing, yes, we might have experienced the person a certain way. It may not have been good. But we gotta stop planting those seed. But no deal with that person there. Him do this, them are that. This is we gotta stop with the gossiping and planting negative seeds in our kids. We gotta let them know the information and let them make a choice about what they want to do with it.
totally,
Now, for parents that are juggling through trauma and being a parent and dealing with their mental health and not trying to involve the children in what they're battling, what advice would you give to them while they're dealing with their trauma, going through being a parent? You want to protect your child from that person who caused us the trauma, but at the same time, we're dealing with our mental health. What advice would you give to those people that are going through this right now?
ask for help. Ask for help. Help is always there, even when you don't understand that it's able or it can help. Ask for help. Don't suffer in silence because you think that because you are going through it now, meaning there isn't no one else who's gone through it. When in truth, there is a generation of women who've gone through it already. And even sometimes those who you will meet along the way, they might well be the normal Joneses. But when you go in the backstory, they know where you're coming from. So it's best to ask for help. Don't sit around and waste time. Because the longer you sit around, you're going to keep going around in that very cycle. So ask for help. Because even if they can't give you exactly what you're looking for, the little you get may give you enough strength to go on to the next and to
Right.
keep going on. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's better to ask or seek help rather than sitting there and suffering. Because it's like you sitting there and suffering. The law can prosecute you for that because they're going to call that neglect.
Right.
You see what I mean? But if
Mhm.
you start to seek help, they're going to have some records to say, no, even though these things happen, we're not going to intervene from a negative perspective. We're going to intervene positively because this person was actively seeking help.
Seeking
And
help.
let me go back a little bit just to add to this how important it is to seek help and to start speaking up about the experience. There is a one of our sisters who she had completely removed the father's private part, right, in the situation because he was the one who abused her. Yeah. Now, when you listen to the court proceeding, yeah, the reason why she got the time that she got was because she sought help. She sought help and she told others.
Right.
So that means when the person acts based on that frustration or that being overwhelmed, it's not classified as a premeditation.
No.
It's a it's now I'm tired of this. You see?
Mhm.
But if you don't speak up and you don't tell anybody and anything happened to that perpetrator or that abuser, you're going to go to prison.
Right.
Seriously.
I
Because the
agree.
law is not going to see you as the victim no more.
Right. And you know it's funny. There was a case where a girl did kill her perpetrator, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, why did you kill him? Why didn't you just run away?" And she served some time, and people don't understand this concept. When you try to seek help and no one's able to help you, and you get to that point where you want out and you can't, and something like you reach a breaking point
Trigger.
mentally,
Yes.
and there's a trigger, and
Goes
everything
on.
just, I'm not thinking about anything. I just want out and by any means. So we have to be mindful. Like people will say, "Oh, you sexual abuse. Why did you wait so long?" It's shame. I'm
But it
afraid. I don't want to look nasty. I don't want people to judge me, right? And when you talk about seeking help, and I could already tell the importance of getting the support system around you, right? To even start your healing process. But shame is such a heavy, 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 heavy weight, heavy burden that we carry, and we live with it. And a lot of times people don't want to go to their friends because they're gonna say, "Oh, my friends are gonna judge me, this, that, da 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 da." What advice would you say for somebody who's isolated, literally isolated, closed off, and I don't want to seek support because I'm afraid. I don't want anybody to look at me as nasty and say I caused it on myself. What advice would you give them to take the first step to get themselves out of isolation and just think about themselves and what they need and forget about what everybody else thinks?
journaling. If they begin to write what it is that they've gone through and what they want to accomplish or what they want to see manifest in their life, because we understand that scripturally from biblical reference in Joel 2, I believe, when it's a right division, make it clear, make it plain, because in time it will surely come to pass. So it's the same thing. That technique is not just for something that you want to do for a business. It's even your healing, your transformation. You can begin to put that into words. You can begin to put your experience on paper. And if you're not a person who is able to articulate or write things effectively, now you've got recordings apps on your phone. You can literally take your phone, sit down and record it, voice record it, and
Yes.
listen to it, because that also, when you do that, it helps to clarify what you know. You understand? It gives you that clarity and that trust within yourself. Because the thing about shame, what a lot of people don't understand, shame really isn't for you. Shame and guilt is for the people who done what they done. They are the one who should be ashamed. But for some reason, I don't know how it flipped,
Flipped.
and it becomes the victims or the survivors who carry the shame and the guilt. When
Mhm.
in truth, the guilt and the shame meant to be for the perpetrator, not for the victim or the survivors.
It's like an imprint. It's like
Exactly,
a
because there's a transfer.
Mhm.
There's a transfer that happen, especially when it comes on to sexual trauma. Our body being, being violated from the body perspective.
Yeah.
There's a transfer, because not only there's a transfer physically, but spiritually. That's where the Jezebel spirit enters, and that is what causes a lot of the smoking, the drinking,
Yeah.
the sleeping around. It's not because they want to, it's because of the transfer.
The
So
spiritual
they take
transfer.
on that spirit, yeah, because that spirit is what led also those people to continue that, or to do that.
You know, there are so many aspects of us having this conversation, and it goes deeper
Hmm.
than the surface. And you talked about that spiritual transfer. Even when you're having sex with a partner,
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
you can feel
spiritual
it.
transfer.
You can feel it,
You
literally.
could feel it.
You can feel it.
I don't know if you've ever experienced it or any of my listeners that are listening have ever experienced it, but if you are married or if you've ever been in a relationship, sexual relationship, and let's just say there's something, and it's like a child. It's not even sexual. It's like a connection, a spiritual connection.
Yeah.
When you give birth to a child, you have a connection with them. If you've ever had your child leave the house, your body speaks to you when something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And it's happened to me where I get a feeling in my spirit that something's not right with my child. And when I see my child, I'm like, what happened? And when they start pouring out, I'm like, what time did that happen? Because at that exact time, I felt something in my spirit.
Hmm.
And that's why we
Well,
have to be in tune with our bodies, our spirit, our discernment.
yeah.
And when you sleep with somebody, it's like you're taking their spirit and you can feel what they're going through. That's when a lot of women say, or men, I feel like my partner's cheating on me.
Oh yes, and it is
Half the time, it's
oftentimes
not just your
true.
mind playing tricks with you, it's your intuition and your spirit's telling you
Yeah.
something because you guys already connected spiritually.
Yeah.
So you could feel that he stepped out of or she stepped out of that spiritual bond that you guys had. So when you're molested and this perpetrator and their demonic spirits enter you, they deposited something in you.
Oh yes.
And now you're affected by it, and people get affected by it in different ways.
Yes.
They start
Yes.
doing things, they start
Yes.
taking things. And
Yes.
you have a term that you speak about, and it's the lethal imprint of childhood trauma
Absolutely.
and how it affects adults, how it affects you when you become an adult. And I
Yeah.
want you to elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yes. So that lethal imprint, it affects every aspect of your life. Whether you know it or you don't know it, it does affect. It affects the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you express yourself, the way you look at yourself, the way you speak about yourself. It affects the places that you choose to live, the people you choose as friends. It is so deeply ingrained. It's like it literally changes your DNA.
Yes.
It does change your DNA. It also, if it affects your brain, it affects multiple parts of your brain. That shows that it literally shifts you from one to another. So that is why you will oftentimes see a lot of people who've gone through tremendous amount of childhood trauma, they will have certain tendencies, or you will see some people say, oh, you have split personality, or you will hear a lot of people get diagnosed with personality disorders,
Yes.
when in truth it's because of those imprints. Those imprints, especially, look, if you look at it from this perspective that we're speaking about, the sexual perspective, when that happens, it opens up the door, because that is the gateway to life.
Yes.
So from that is open, from the perspective of how it's open, the enemy of control right there. That's where the enemy takes control. So now, if that person is gonna manifest from the perspective where I did manifest, going from one person to another person, what you think is gonna happen then? That's where you're gonna be dealing with different personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I will see the person passing and walk across like I don't see them, or don't even notice them, because
Mm-hmm.
they're dealing with a completely different personality then.
Great.
You see what I mean? So
Yep.
now, going back to that imprint, and this is why one of the key things I always tell women, I speak of it very strongly.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
I speak of it very strongly. You have to do the womb detox. You have to do the womb cleansing. Not only the womb cleansing, but you have to do it. Like, it is a must, especially if you've gone through it from that sexual perspective, because even when you don't know it, you might have a good man, a really good man, and you'll be surprised that you will not be satisfied with him. Even though he might lick every inch properly, you will be going somewhere to seek something. It might be giving you all the money in the world, and you will still going to find some Joe who not even can give you a cup of tea.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with the person. It's merely have to do with the imprints. And that is why you have to focus on yourself, get into a place where you have to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I'm not this person. I know that these things are manifesting because of what had happened. So they did the hurting, you have to do the healing. It's that simple.
You said the womb cleansing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that there's so many aspects. I have to repeat this because people don't understand.
It's deep.
And
Like,
this is why I wanted to have this. The time is so limited, but there has to be other parts to this, because I didn't realize, and I want you to elaborate on the womb cleansing, but I didn't realize that I had to do womb cleansing until I gave birth to my son, until way after I gave birth to my son. When I was in labor and I gave birth to my son, and they were gonna, they give you the baby first. Oh my
yes,
God, so cute, all of that. You're excited. I said to the doctor, get this alien away from me. And
disconnection.
people might say, how could you say that? You don't understand. I went through sexual trauma. I was raped. I thought I was gross. I didn't want my son coming out of me felt so uncomfortable.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when I wrote my book, a lady asked me, she said, Jen, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. And when you said age doesn't matter, age does not matter. It's our experiences, because she's older than me, but I was able to pour into her. And she said, after childbirth, how did you feel? And that was the first person that ever came to me, admitted to me that her womb needed healing. And she was turned off by her own children after labor. And I explained to her that I went through the exact same thing, not realizing that it was from my childhood trauma. Then you touched another topic about sex. I did not realize why I was so closed off with my partner, and I didn't want certain things, and ugh, it felt gross to me because I wasn't educated on sex. I was abused. I don't know anything. I don't want to. I think it's gross because I did something bad when I was younger or something bad happened to me. But when I got that healing, I was able to be free and open with my partner. And and before I wasn't able to hug my children the way that I wanted to hug them. Every hug I give to anybody till this day,
It's
it feels like
healing
a chokehold. And I'm able to embrace them and love them with my body and not feel gross.
and not feel like I'm being invaded.
Yeah, and violated, right? So when you talk about that, the healing of the womb and the cleanse, explain that a little bit.
Because when you go into the deep meaning of trauma, it actually means, it means the wound of the womb. And that is why when you look at it, and that is why I tend to work mostly with women. I'm not denying men because I know that they have to deal with us, but I strictly deal with women predominantly because we are the ones who it actually passed down through more so than the other party,
Mhm.
because we are the one who feed and nurture through our womb. And having a wounded womb means that you're going to have some wounded children. Unfortunately, they're going to come through with residue. And so, what that place, because if you look at it, when you go into it, it's the sacral chakra. Now, I know a lot of believers don't talk about the chakra, but I will speak of it because it's easy to give reference. That's the sacral chakra. And it means that the sacred space in it.
Mhm.
So the fact that someone go and violate the sacredness of that space, it means that it's disrupted.
Yeah.
It's going to be overactive, underactive. It's going to be disrupted. That's why you have some women who can't have children. They don't know why. Some women problem every minute they have miscarriage. They have fertility issue. They have fibroids. They have what you call it, ovarian cysts, all these things. They don't realize that a lot of it is from that particular thing that they fail to speak up about. A lot of women, even though they will carry the child, they can't bring them because they don't come to full term. They don't get it. They don't
You
get why you will have, as I say, you meet a good man and he'll probably want to be with you, and but there is some disruption there.
you know oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I'll say oh my gosh again because I'll use me as an example. When God told me to be absent and he said I need to heal there. He said no more sex and he literally told me 6 months. And I told my partner but he couldn't understand at the time. But God said 6 months. You need to heal there. I took
Oh,
it serious
mm.
because we think that healing, just healing and believing in God and surrendering is just saying God, I surrender. Okay, I'm gonna heal, I'm gonna fast, and I'm healing the trauma. But the internal process needs to happen.
The scripture tells you, the scripture tell you that we should rend our hearts and not our garments. People still think, look, from a different perspective, I don't want to sound like I'm anti the Bible because I'm not.
Hmm.
Because I studied the book very well. I
Yeah.
mean, I really did because of my healing journey. I had to go in it because I needed to find out what is wrong with me
Hmm.
at that time, because I couldn't put my finger. because I'm going to church. But yet still, I still go and connect to these people, do certain things so I can get money. Why am I doing this? But I'm in myself, I'm this righteous person going into these places. I'm righteous, but in myself, something ain't right.
Right.
Something isn't good, and it it all stems from that. That is the entrance. That's what I gave the entrance. You see what I mean? And we oftentimes, it's like, let me go back a little bit. A lot of us, especially who come into this 21st century, back, or maybe the women of age probably was doing it, but then for some reason we get so modern that we don't do it no more. Women don't look after the womb no more.
No.
They don't invest in that. And if they hear somebody saying, they're ready to debunk it and say, oh, they're always, quote unquote, it's gonna be a little bit raw, so if you need to edit it, fine. My pussy good. You understand?
Listen, say it raw because it's true. I saw them say my
That's
pussy good.
that's it. but
Mm-hmm.
but in truth, it's not about that,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a deeper aspect of who you are,
Yeah.
rather than that external entrance point. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not realizing that the goodness of it doesn't mean that it is good, because it's gonna bring death or it's gonna bring life, and that's as simple as it is.
Right.
You see what I mean? So it's something that one has to really zero in on and spend the time. If you know that you need to go, because some of us will get symptoms as well. Some of us will get the older problems.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us will get the itchy problem, the discharges that says something wrong.
Yep.
Fix this, treat it, heal
And
it.
deeper and deeper than that too, because I've had a friend who experienced a really, 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 really bad miscarriage, and I learned a long time ago that I was an intercessor and had the power of discernment and stuff. And you know, it's hard when you tell somebody something and they know but they don't listen, because God will give you messages to give to
Yeah.
people only through you, and privately tell them. And your healing is through your husband. He needs to pray over your womb and take a break. But people won't understand that. When you go
Wow.
through trauma, there's a cleansing and a healing that needs to happen.
Have to do it.
Has to. When you're fasting, you
You
fast
have
for
to
your
do
womb
it.
and you take a break.
Yeah. So I remember there was a time, Janelle, I I came home. I think it was I came home from church, and I just felt so overwhelmed, because I was saying, what is this? Why is it that this thing, what do I have on me that makes people see me like this? I don't want this in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I lay down on my ground in the center of my front room, and I took all my clothes off, and I'm telling you, I grabbed the thing, I hold it, and I was saying, you know what happened? I was telling God to either kill the feelings from it, take that nature from me, take it away from me, or something, because I'm not going to deal with this thing no more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not looking for this. I don't want this. But it's like there is something that always
Tracks
wants,
to you.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it no more. It needs to end. It
Yeah.
needs to end. So, and prior to that, I'd done the prayer, I'd done the fast, and I'm telling you, there was a time on my journey. I spent 8 months and I studied the book. I literally studied the Bible. I'm telling you, I went into ancient records and studied. I was even learning the Hebrew, going in the Hebrew Tanakh. I even went into the Phoenician Hebrew language to figure out, no, what's going on here,
Yeah.
because I needed to find out what this problem was.
And
I'm
we
telling,
have to do that. We have
we
to
have to,
be willing to make the sacrifice
we
and
have to.
put the time into ourselves to figure out what is happening. What is it? I need to heal. I need to get over that. I need to get through this. And I'm going to put that time aside for me, even if that means being alone and silent.
But even saying, I don't cut you, Janelle. Let me tell you this though. Some of us, our healing is not gonna be alone.
Yep.
Some of us cannot heal alone. Some of us need the partnership
Mm-hmm.
in order to process it. Because if we do it alone, we will probably just do the unthinkable. You see
So,
where I'm coming from? So a lot of us we need that other person to hold our hands, to say, you
yep.
know what, you've got this, baby. You know what, I believe in you. I know that you've been through a lot, but you know, I'm here with you, because we haven't had that support all our life. So some of us, the Most High is gonna put people in our life, and sometimes we're gonna think, oh, what you want? Yeah, man, you only come for something, but not everybody is gonna be from that perspective.
And that's why sometimes we have to go quiet to figure out who are the right people that are there that are going to hold our hand. Because sometimes we'll have so many people around us. Some of them don't want us to heal. They want us to stay this way so that they can have us tagging along with them and dragging us and going through this pain for a long. Sometimes some people want us stuck there.
Yep.
So there is a quiet moment that you have to figure out who are the right people that you can go to, and they will hold your hand throughout the process, because the process is not going to be easy. The process will be you waking up angry sometimes, cussing off everybody, telling them, go away out of my life. I don't want sometimes you'll mishandle the people who are supposed to help you. And those people have to be in tune to know, you know what? This is just another stage, but I'm still here. And with your clients, I know people go through self-limiting beliefs.
Yes.
What are a couple or one self-limiting belief that your clients go through? And how do you help them transform that belief?
It's oftentimes they're not enough, not feeling like they're enough, and also the one with shame as well, holding on to shame. And I oftentimes use myself as reference. you know I used to think that I wasn't enough, and so one of the ways how I would help them to shift that is to challenge them in a series of probing questions.
Mhm.
you know because half the time, most of them, if not all of them, are high and progressive women who's been through life, who's done things. Okay, then, if you aren't enough, you accomplished that. You did that on your own. Your mother didn't do it for you. You accomplish a lot of things. So I use their own conversations onto them. So all I do, I will listen to what they have to say, and then I'm repackaging it and give it back to them. And they were like, oh,
That makes
oh, I
sense.
never thought of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, you see what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the answers is already there. Oftentimes they're just not sure. Oftentimes they don't see it for what it really is. It's that you will have somebody who I'm working with always dressing up, and this is not going against somebody looking good. But looking good doesn't mean healed. There is a difference, because you can look really good and you're still crumbling. Most of the people who go and do the unthinkable, they looked good. They had the money. They had all the support in terms of business support,
Yeah.
the things, but they weren't in here healing. So I will use the same things that they will bring to me and show it to them from a different perspective, and elaborate and question them on that in order to help them to shift.
That's nice.
Because a lot of the times you hold on to the lies that you're not going to be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You will never be nothing. Look on you. You're gonna always be this. But that's not the truth because you know in yourself that you don't feel like what they said.
Right.
So you can't hold on to that because that's the lie. So if they said that and you've accomplished this, who is telling the lie? Who do you believe? Like the scripture asks you, whose report shall you believe? You see, the scripture tells you that you must think on things that are true, that are pure, that are of good report, isn't it?
Yes.
So those are the things that you believe of yourself. So if you believe in anything else, that's not true. So we all are always going and question, challenge them with their own conversation
Hmm.
in order to help them shift those.
Yeah. Now, I need you to give my listeners, the ones that are probably listening on here because they either they know that they have something to heal, they want to break that generational cycle, they need something new in their life. They know that they're supposed to be shifting,
Yeah.
but they don't know where to start. And for the ones that have started, what encouragement can you give them to continue through their process? And for the ones that want to share their story, some advice for them to start and only worry about the people that their message is supposed to touch.
So for those who already are on the journey, um, I would say just keep going. Like this is not a destination thing because on your healing journey, I can guarantee you, you will come up against illnesses, different health challenges still while you're on this healing journey. And therefore, it shows that there is always work to do. See? So just keep going. Don't you halt for any reason. I was in the midst of one process, overcoming one thing, and then something else licked me down. You see what I mean? I
Mhm.
went through a massive transformation and I injured myself physically. Now, does it mean that because I'm sat down, meaning I stop? No, I still use my voice. I still use my experience and still speak life into other women. So keep going. That's for you who's on the journey already. And you don't need much. You just need to keep moving because let me tell you one thing, and this goes for all parties, those who's on the journey, those who want to begin, and those who also want to share their story. If you can think it, yeah, from the thought, so you get the thought and you can think it, clearly think about it, yeah, the next thing is for you to take action. And that's all the Most High wants you to do now is to take action because the Most High, the universe is literally sitting down there waiting. Okay, let me see what Vivienne I gonna do today.
Mhm.
Okay, then. Janelle, she gone through this. Me give her this. Me give her the thought. She clarified. She know that's it. Let me see what she gonna do.
Right.
The universe, the Most High has been waiting for you to take control, to take the next step, which is the action. It's like God help those who help themselves. We hear those things and we think that it's not so, but it is the truth. And moreover, let me tell you this for those who want to and haven't started yet, God, nah, God do nothing for you. Because here why? When you go into the scripture, it tells you that God give us everything pertaining to this life and the next. So you already have all the answers. You just need to what? Access it, activate it. That's all you need to do. And you ask me, how do you do that? Address yourself, sit with yourself, ask yourself the question. When you get the nudge, the intuition comes up, Write them down, journal, record them. For those who want to start to share your story with other people, get the phone, get the laptop, get the light, get the camera, and start record yourself. You don't have to send it to nobody. Just you start to record yourself. Express yourself. Talk to the audience, whoever it is. Young girls, young men, big woman, whoever your audience is. Talk to them. Let them know that you know what they've gone through. Let them know that they're not alone. Let them know that it's possible for them to heal and transform their life. Let them know that their experience doesn't define who they are and it doesn't justify. And that even with all this they've gone through, God is still in the midst of it. Seeing? So I hope that gives a bit of clarity. If you want me to go into a little bit more, I would say seek professional help. And oftentimes, a lot of the time, us as a people, there is one thing I realize. Most people are afraid of speaking to us as professionals, being women of color. A lot of people feel some kind of way because through they're usually connected, professionalism is usually connected from the perspective of other nations, and that's no mishap. But I'm just saying that oftentimes we take ourselves away from our own people who may be able to relate to us and fully understand and hear what we're saying, and even can finish statements for us because we know it back to front.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from? So try not to ignore those who's got your own background because you want the support. You only think of going elsewhere. And I'm not
Yes.
saying that you should also stick with us if we don't understand, but find those who will understand and who will communicate effectively and who will listen to you. Because if you don't bring out what you're going to bring out, then definitely you're going to keep going around in the same cycle.
I agree. I agree with that completely. And especially finding people that come from our culture. Because a lot of times and I think when we experience something with somebody from our culture, we try to push back, like, I'm going to go to a Caucasian, a different person, da 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 da. And
Yeah,
then it goes on. And there's nothing wrong with going with somebody else. But first, understand that people are different. You may have experienced something bad with, somebody that came from your country, whether it be Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, Bahamas, anywhere you're from. But don't push away those people because of that one experience you had, because culturally we understand and we can
that's it.
finish each other's sentence. And our
Exactly.
experiences, we could give the advice based off of our cultural experience, our backgrounds. So don't knock it until you try it. And if it didn't work for you, then yeah, step out of that and go get the right people that will understand and that can help you and show you a different way. So I agree with that
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. And also one of the key thing whenever, so for the three separate individuals, those who are on, those who want to share the story, always begin to open your heart. Begin to work on opening your heart. Because let me tell you this, if your heart chakra is closed, you're not going to heal. You're not going to heal.
Mhm.
So you're going to have to open your heart chakra by beginning to be compassionate with yourself. You understand? Be kind to you. Yes, it happened to you. It did happen to me. I don't want that to happen to my baby girl Vivienne. No, but it did. And so what I have to do is I have to keep being kind to her and nurture her And even when people try to offend her or upset her, I try to step in and remind her, listen, baby girl, you ain't in this alone. I'm here with you.
All right.
You understand? So we have to start to see ourselves as the adults, but see the little one in us. Like that, on any aspect of your journey, if you can't see this from opening your heart, then it's not going to work.
Yep.
It's
I
not.
agree.
No, you have
So
to, like this. I don't cut you, Janelle. It's like when you hear the cry say, you have to be a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. That's what it means.
yeah. So, our listeners that want to get in contact with you, or if any upcoming projects you have that they could look out for, they want to, they want to get some help, some support on their journey. They want to be educated, re-educated. They want to know how to protect their children, protect themselves. How do they get in contact with you?
Yes, so I am on several platforms. At the moment, I use mostly social media platforms, but I do work in private as well. So they can find me at Green Queen number 7 on IG, the same on TikTok and on YouTube. Yeah, Green Queen 7 YT on YouTube. You can find me on LinkedIn under Vivienne Green, and you can find me on Facebook under Vivienne Green, Green Queen in brackets. So I don't think I'm hard to find. And usually if you find me on one platform, you can find me on every platform, because usually there's a link that connects me. You can go in that link and you'll find all the different places that I am. You can find me. You can
And your
also,
website?
no, I don't have a website at the moment. I
Okay.
did. So that is gonna be resolving eventually. But because I'm working on other projects, so I'm kind of putting that on hold for the moment. But you can also, if one needs to get one-to-one support, you can book a session with me through my link. That link is usually in my bio. You can
Bio.
find it in any one of my bio. Yeah. And through that you
And I
can
think that's
link.
Penn site, right?
Yes, my pen
Okay.
site link. Yes, you can find me in that. And usually it's easy. It's very straightforward. It's not difficult
Yeah.
to arrange a session, etc. And just if and also if you want to work with me, just be ready to just be open and know that I'm very pragmatic. I don't be around the bush. I can't do that to anyone. I'm very fair and open person. I'm a book, so ask me anything you want to ask me, and I'm happy to share with you, because I already accept and know that I'm gonna have to do this. So
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, yeah,
Vivienne,
yeah.
Viv, my Auntie Viv from Trench
Well,
Tongue.
one.
This was truly an
Yeah,
honor. It was a blessing to just connect with you. I don't ever like calling these interviews because I feel like it's a
yeah,
conversation and it creates
yeah.
a safe space
It
for
is.
listeners and viewers to listen in and really connect with us and understand that there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, for what?
No, no shame.
No
Just their
shame.
experiences that helped mold
No.
us into who we
Dash
are.
you that. Dash you
Yeah.
that one day. No shame round here. Shame and fear. Me not deal with them. No.
No.
I'm not. Me not
Yeah.
accept them. Me sorry. Who want
So
me for stick with them? That a fit them business. But
no,
no, don't.
we're breaking cycles. And when you're breaking
Yes,
cycles, it no matter if you have matanayayay, wipe
that's
on your
it.
mouth, we're gonna break them regardless.
We're
So
gonna do it. We don't.
it
We're not worried. It's not about how we look like for
yeah,
that from that perspective. Because when you're in the vineyard, you know, grass are gonna flash by you, mud are gonna jump. You know, all kind of
yep,
stuff, and you're just gonna have to do the work. You
and
know,
deal with
so
it.
it's straight up. You know,
Mhm.
like I remember even in my interview, I was crying, and you could see the boogies in my nose, and you know, I, I, I didn't even notice, but I just kept going because I needed to say what I had to say. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
I wasn't thinking about how and I even didn't even think that it was gonna make a difference to anyone. But I'm
Yep.
telling you, over 5 million, over 4 million women contacted me, literally
Yep.
contacted, reaching out. Look, I've been through this, and this is why this work must go on,
It must go on.
because there are a lot of our sisters are suffering in silence,
Yes.
holding on to that shame, holding
Yep.
on to that fear. I don't think that every single one of us will be able to sit on social platforms and say the things that we've done based on what we've been through. One. But I also know that if you have your story and you want us to share it, you can reach out to us. We can share your story for you anonymously.
Yes.
You understand? To help
Yes.
it out, to help get it out of your system. You see what I
Yep.
mean?
And this
So
is
you're not
how
alone.
we stop it at us, and it will never foster in our family anymore. Right?
Exactly, because
So,
when we I don't cut you, Janelle.
mhm.
When we understand that you are my sister, I'm your sister, and we are all sisters. When we get that, that's when you're really gonna see things change. We
That's when
are
you'll see
sister.
things change.
Because not because my name Green, your name Simpson, that one the name Brown. All of that, when you look at it, is what? It's the master's name. It
Yep.
don't belong to us.
No.
You understand? We just had that because when you look into the depths of it, it's all what? Part of the corporations. So we are family. So we have to begin to look at it from that perspective. When
Yep.
you can see that I ain't got no problem with you. Me not care if your nose straight than my one, if your lips smaller than my one, if your hair longer. I don't mind. It
I
doesn't
don't
have.
mind.
I don't care if you're light, if you're dark. I don't care where you've been. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've been through. You are my sister. And
Yep.
the minute I can help you, I'm willing to do that.
Yep. And the
But you
minute we
just
start
have
to
to
move
meet
as
me.
one, yep.
Yeah, exactly. And don't
Hmm.
think that you have nothing over me and me have nothing over you, but meet together. Because even also there's another aspect. Sometimes I know sometimes people reach out, they want to get the help, but maybe they don't have the finances to take to get the proper support or get the support in a certain order. But
Yep.
there's ways how you can address that. There is ways and means. Sometimes there's an incentive. Work with the incentive perspective
Yep.
for what? That accountability. So you can get the support.
Exactly.
But sometimes we think, okay, I don't have this much, so I don't want it, or I'm not gonna do it. No, there is ways. Negotiate. Sit down. Let's talk. How are we gonna do this? What do you really want? How are we gonna address this? That's what families do. Family don't
Exactly.
say, oh, it's each session is $10,000. So if you don't have $10,000, you can't come here. No, that's not how it works.
No, it's not.
It's not how it works. It doesn't
Hmm.
work like that,
Hmm.
you know. Yeah, but it's been a pleasure. It's been a
It was an absolute honor having you on with me, and
yeah,
I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for saying yes and being obedient.
always, anytime.
And I love you, and I can't wait to,
Love you too, my
this
sister.
is just a little stone. We're gonna turn bigger ones together,
Definitely,
and I know we're
definitely.
gonna team up and do something really, 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 really soon together because
Yeah,
there's work that needs to be done.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Whole heap of work. Whole heap listen, we just barely touched the tip.
And we're
So
going back to Jamaica because you see the foundation in
yes.
Jamaica is where
Yes.
we need to dig up and root
Oh
up and
yes.
plant new stones. So
Oh yes. Oh yes.
we'll be working on some things together because once we leave this earth, we're leaving our family and our children and our grandchildren behind, and we have to leave them with things,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
foundation, the
Totally.
words,
Yeah.
the spirit to want to move and do greater than what we did. So
Yeah.
This is just a beginning of a million things we're gonna do.
Absolutely. And based on that, we already gave thanks to the divine for
Mhm.
opening up the doors, for the connections, for the
Yeah.
all the people who's gonna come sincerely and invest in what we're doing, because they know that it's not to benefit ourselves per se, but it's more so to, because there's a scripture that I hold very dear to me. A lot of people don't know this about me, but there's a scripture in Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah 45 or 49, somewhere it is. And it says that my duty is to bring Israel back. And that I hold very dear to me, because along with that scripture, there's another scripture, and it talks about the one with the talents, and that those, if you don't use those gifts and talents that we've gotten through this experience, then it means that it's gonna be taken and be told, "Get away from me, you wicked servant," and I will never be called a wicked servant. So anyway, I have to do what I have to do to help Israel. Then that's what
We're
I
gonna
have.
do it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people don't understand Israel itself, but I do. And I don't want to be a barbarian, but Israel is us as a people. That's the reality. And so from that perspective, I'm willing to do what I have to do. I don't have no shame. I don't use fear. I don't work on those. Those
Yeah.
don't play no part on my journey. So anytime we have to do what we have to do, we will do it. That's it.
But
Sister,
thank
it's
you
a
so much,
pleasure.
honey. I
Thank
love you.
you.
I love you. I love you. And we'll
Love you
talk
too.
soon. Guys, there you have it. My conversation, my fireside conversation with Vivienne Green. Vivienne Green is a powerhouse, guys. It's never easy sharing our stories and talking about the trauma and the things that we've gone through. I think one of the things that we struggle with right now is shame and silence. And for me, I've struggled with shame and silence for so long in my life. Even a partial part of my adulthood in my early 20s, I struggled with that. I didn't want anybody to know about what I went through, what I was going through, because it was weighing on me. I just felt like if I told people, they were going to judge me. But we're in this season now where we're sharing our stories, not just for ourselves, but for other people so that they can find some type of resource to heal, some type of resource to pull through and go through what they're going through and know that they're not alone. We are healing for ourselves so that we can flourish, so that we can finally accept our calling and our assignment and do what we're supposed to do, what we're called on this earth to do. And having Vivienne as a guest really humbled my heart because I resonate with a lot of her story. It's like a mirroring image, because I've gone through that with my mother and I've gone through that with family members. And, it's always good to bring people out and let them know that we're not alone. You're not alone. Any help you need, please reach out to people. Don't go through this shame feeling, this fear, this silence. You don't have to go through it alone. There are people out there. There's a whole tribe ready to embrace you. So guys, I want to thank you for continuing to follow, subscribe. Please, before you leave, like the video, leave a comment, share the video with somebody, and hit the subscribe button if you are not already a subscriber of the Life Succeed podcast. Guys, thank you for tuning in with me, your girl, your lovely girl, Jen Simpson. Until next time, bye.
Phenomenous. Colding.